What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Fans Toys Tube, their version of a Masterpiece Pipes. I got this one from Nick the Toy Guy. Thanks for sending this out for review quickly. And I did do an unboxing on it. There's some things you need to do out of box to get him set up. Namely, the arms have to be turned around and then the feet have to be pulled outwards. But once you do that, he is set up to go. It's got some really nice paint on him. You got everything you see is painted. So you got the darker blue on the body, this goldish silver, which I think we saw on the Lupus figure, Lupus reissue, and then you got this lighter blue back here for this rear window on the cab. You have chrome for the wheels, rubber tires here, which we'll see more in the vehicle mode. Here's the back. Very, very clean, this guy. He's got basically no kibble. This is cartoon accurate. Speaking of cartoon accurate, let's put the G1 image there so you can take a look for yourself. And it's a really nice recreation of that G1 cartoon. The colors are probably debatable, but overall the look of this is really, really good. And there's no kibble pretty much anywhere. As far as the articulation, the head is on a rotating swivel. It goes up to there, down to there. I really like how the head sculpt looks with the metallic red eyes and then the gold face and the blue head. You can rotate the head. It's a little bit tight, but you can rotate it. Just got to get your hand in there. It does obviously stop right here where he's got his shoulder bits. But that's kind of his design too. I don't know. They probably could have done something a little bit different, but that's it for the head. Shoulders rotate all the way around on this joint. They'll go up to here. If you unpeg the wheel from the shoulder, you can get it all the way up. If you rotate the wheel down, then you can get it way up. So I think they designed that joint specifically so you could get the shoulder joint, up and out of the way. So I think that was smart. Rotation at the bicep. These are a little bit on the loose side. I'll probably put some Kiki in there or open these up and see if I can tighten that, but they're a little bit on the loose side. You have a single jointed elbow, but it gets you well past 90 degrees just due to the sculpt and the way it's designed. For the arms, you have a rotation at the wrist. I just unpegged the gun there, but then you have the hands on a single pin. And that's it for the arms. For the waist, you have a rotation here at the ab crunch. You can get an ab crunch all the way down to there. Depending on the angle, you can get it crunched and rotated. So that's a nice piece of articulation. For the legs, we have hip skirts on the sides and the front. Legs will go up to there, back to there on a ratchet, up to the side on friction, get up to there. You have a rotation at the thigh around a universal. Single jointed knee gets you a little past 90 degrees just due to the sculpt. It's got a nice cover down piece here, so that all looks really nice. It's well done. For the feet, you have ankle tilts all the way out to there. You have a forward and backward motion. It's interesting how they did it. It's actually built into here on this screw. So it's rotating on that screw. So that's actually how you're getting this up and down motion. And then the toe moves independently just due to the design. As far as accessories, you do get the cog of Metroplex done in a translucent orange. I believe this gray is painted. It looks really nice. It does actually rotate. It's got a ratchet in it. That's a cool little attention to detail. Put a ratchet in there. But you can rotate that. He can hold it, of course, if you just open up the hands. And you can recreate that one scene. And like I mentioned, I do have a loose arm here. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to pose it. But you can still get it. All right, there he is holding the cog. So you can recreate that scene from the cartoon. I'll put that up there just so you can see. But Nice that they included that accessory. They don't usually give you the one thing from that one episode, so that's kind of a pleasant surprise. Setting that aside for a second, you also get alternate heads and faces. So you get this one here, which is a slightly different sculpt than the one that's on there. And in order to replace that, you're just going to pull forward on this, lift up on here. You're going to pull forward on this. This is just tabbed in like that. And you can swap the entire thing for this other look. Just peg that in, put that back down. And now we have this look, which is also pretty cool. I think this is more like a toy look. You got a metallic red for the visor. I think that looks really nice. So you have the choice. Me personally, I prefer this one, but or if you want, you can take this one off, and we're basically going to swap the face on this. So come to back here, and we're going to pull this face off. Put on the other one with the blue eyes, if you prefer that. Obviously, your choice. And then there's that. You can put that back on. And now we have the blue eyes there. But really nice that they gave you the choice there. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to some Takara Tomy Carbots, the Blue Streak, the Bumblebee Minibot, and then we've got the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Fits in nicely with the Masterpiece scale. Alright, now let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. And it's a relatively simple and fun transformation, but I'm going to do it differently than the video that Fans Toys put out, just because it makes it a little bit easier to transform. So I'm going to start on the legs. So come down to here. We're going to open up these hip skirts, and that's to allow us to get the legs all the way out to the side. Just gives us a little bit of room. So rotate these out. Come to the bottom here. We're going to open up this panel right here. We're going to rotate down this entire inner panel. And there we go. We're going to take this leg, we're going to unpeg it from here, and it's going to accordion down. And come to here. You have to push it in, you hear a little click. Like that. First time you do that, that might be a little tight, so just be wary of that. Bring this back up, close this down, and tab that back in. You can close the foot, make sure that the foot is flat. We have to slide this foot back down. We took it out for the unboxing. So basically we're going to slide this back down onto here so it's flush like that. Alright, so that's one side done. I'll do the other side exactly the same. We'll go a little bit faster here. So if you have trouble getting these out, you can just grab a spudger and pop this panel up. Rotate this down. Let's accordion the leg. And that's what I was mentioning earlier about that arm. It does like to rotate on me when I'm not wanting it to. Make sure you get the click. Bring this back up. Make sure the foot's out of the way. Close this down. And I think I broke a nail doing this. Bring this down. Straighten this out. And then slide the foot back down. And take these two legs. There's two pegs here. So get them pegged together like this. And now that we have all that, you can rotate the hip skirts back down. Make sure the waist rotation is straight. I'm going to bring these arms down to the side. We can open up this gun, just unpeg it from the side, rotate the hand 180 degrees, open up this little barrel on the other end. It's going to fit over the hand and then peg back in on the other side. And if it doesn't peg back in perfectly, then you just don't have the hand rotated, but it should fit perfectly. Same on this one. Unpeg the gun, open up this panel, and this is where the arm rotation would have been nice if it's a little bit tighter. Bring this down, tab that in. Now we'll get these arms pegged in. The easiest way I found, first of all, bend it at the elbow 90 degrees. They're going to peg in right here on the side. There's a little slot. There's a tab on his arm. It's a very tight tab. So I would recommend you open up the head and you can actually see in here. These are going to slide inwards. So you can use this right here as leverage. So put your finger here and put your thumb here. You're going to press inwards and make sure you get the tab in. But basically you got to get that pegged in to the side. You can see there's a block now that's slid inwards into his chest. When you go back to vehicle mode, you want to slide that back out. It sometimes helps to open the head up and then slide it from here using a spudger or your fingers. It can be tight, so that's why I was wanting to show you that. All right, same on this side. We're going to line this up best as we can, give that a push, and get that tabbed in. You can see that one also made its way into here. Go ahead and leave the head down for now because we're going to come to back here. There's a little retaining clip for this backpack, which is right here. So open up that retaining clip. That'll allow you to take this whole piece here and rotate that, and we'll take care of all of this. Unpeg this piece from here, and actually you can pull this whole piece out. And unpeg this piece from here. We're going to take this whole panel, and this is going to slide upwards. You can see there's a little roof piece that made its way out right here. And for now, just rest this up here. You can open up this panel here all the way. So it basically goes 90 degrees against there. And I accidentally bent his ab crunch here. Then we can take these panels from in here. So these are going to rotate outwards. They're on a rotation joint here. It's best if you rotate them as this is laid down. If you rotate it while this is up, it's harder to get those out. So rotate that out on both sides. And then we're going to lift up on this piece here so you get the cab into position. Then we're going to rotate this so you can see the little M there. There's a big story behind that, by the way, but we're not going to talk about it today. Rotate this, and then this is going to peg in to the front of the cab. So get that pegged in. Should look like that. All right, same on this side. Rotate this, get it pegged in. All right, now we can rotate the head down. It's just going to sit in there. You're going to bring this whole section down. Oh, I unpegged this wheel. Just get that pegged back in. Nothing big deal there. You're going to take all of this, and we're going to straighten this up. And the best way I found to do this is first peg the cab in. So this is going to come down. There's two pegs right here that are pegging into the front. So give those a push. You can see the head just kind of fit perfectly right in the cavity, covered up that hole. And then this panel here, it's easiest if you have this rotated down like that, get it in between there, and then pop this in and give this a push. If you do it the other way, it's a little bit harder, but basically you're going to end up like this with that tab in there. All right, rotate this up, and this is going to peg into the back of the cab. Give that a little push. Same on this side, we're going to rotate this up. All right, and there's Tube in his vehicle mode, and I think it's really effective. Let's put the G1 image up there. They just nailed the look. You got translucent lights here, dual headlights. You got a nice chrome grille done in that same kind of goldish chrome. Chrome wheels with rubber tires. It rolls beautifully on those wheels. Nice, hefty, and solid piece. Just feels like a chunk in your hands. Here's the back. No details or anything back here. You do have the painted rear window. Translucent blue here on the front, and then the painted rear, which I think was a good compromise because in robot mode it looks right, and I don't really care so much about it. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's back there, but overall very, very nicely done. They even put in the M there, which is very cool. I'll put a link maybe at this point of what the meaning behind that, but overall really, really good looking vehicle mode. You can't really store anything here. Here's the cog. I mean, you could just kind of sit here if you want to. Doesn't really store, but you can just sort of sit this in here, and then you can drive around with it. I don't know. And since I know this question is going to be asked, even though it's not intended to pull Optimus Prime's trailer, you can sort of make it do it. So if you fold up these two little tabs, which were meant for transformation, they're retaining tabs, fold those up and have them straight up. At least for MP10's trailer, these two little tabs on the hitch will fit around those two tabs. And then you can kind of, sort of pull the trailer. It's not really meant for this, like I said, but you can sort of cheat and get it attached there if you want this look. Now, me personally, I would never display it like this, but you can do that if you want. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to MP10, Optimus Prime, and the Takara Masterpiece smokescreen. You can see it fits in nicely with Carbots. Not as big as Optimus, but still a nice size truck here. So it really works, at least for me anyway, in the MP scale. And here's a comparison I think most people want to see. There's Fans Toys Rig, their version of Huffer. And the surprise here is this is a completely different design. It really has nothing to do with this other than the size of the alt mode and the overall aesthetic. But you can see the wheels, you know, stick out further. The cab is a different design. The back is a different design. The arms are attached differently. The legs work differently. Everything has been changed such that this isn't even a remold or a repaint. This is a completely new mold compared to the Fans Toys rig. So pretty cool that they decided to go through that. But there you go for a comparison. So final recommendations on the Fans Toys tube. And I think I'm going to surprise some people with this, but I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a strong recommendation. This is a phenomenal version of pipes. It doesn't do anything extra that it doesn't need to, but it really works. In robot mode, you can see I have it in a pretty aggressive pose here. The articulation works and is well done. The accessories all work. I like the Metroplex cog, which I'll probably display him with that. The alternate faces all look nice and give you some options. And that's it. You don't need anything else because the weapons are built into the arms. So no need to overcomplicate or, you know, create extra gimmicks. The transformation is fun and intuitive. The alt mode looks really good. And something I really appreciate on this guy is even though it's got a similar alt mode as the rig figure, their version of Huffer, it is a completely different design. Totally redesigned. And they gave him love. They didn't have to make a new design. They could have probably just used a lot of parts. But it's pretty much a brand new design. And that's impressive to me that they gave this character that much love. So yeah, it really works for me. But the only complaint I really have is the rotation here at the elbow is a little bit loose on my copy. I don't know if that's true for everybody. You can see he's holding it just fine. But that is something I wanted to point out because a little bit of irritation, you know, getting him situated, but not a big deal, to be honest. Now, I really hope that Fans Toys continues this trend with their figures because the simple and fun transformation, overall effective robot mode and alt mode, coming from the Fans Toys Warthog, you know, it was kind of a disappointment. And you never know what you're going to get now with the Fans Toys designs. I hope they continue as. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.